Hello everybody. Today I'll be doing a walking video of 30th Avenue in Astoria, Queens, New York. Today is April 7th, 2019, 2:24 p.m. It is a Sunday afternoon. And that bus just almost hit me. What's going on here? Not in service number 624. Just goes to show you that you gotta stay on your toes here. This is crazy. The Astoria houses is across the street from me. So 30th Avenue starts on the edge of Astoria at 8th Street. There's a little one block spur of 30th Avenue known as Main Avenue on the end here. Over there is the Two Coves Community Garden. Back at the edge there where I started the video is known as Hallett's Cove, because that was the area that it was originally known as when the Dutch settled the area. Over here is a nice art wall that constantly changes at 30th Avenue and Welling Court. There's also a lot of other different art walls around here. There's a building going up under construction. Here's a lamppost with not art on the bottom. I guess not art can also be considered art. Where I started the video, about 1 block south of the area, you're able to catch the Astoria ferry, which currently stops at Roosevelt Island, Long Island City, 34th Street, and Wall Street. Currently it costs $2.75 to ride the New York City ferry. It takes approximately 40 minutes to get from Astoria down to Wall Street, but the fares are not interchangeable with the New York City subway or bus system. So if you buy a ferry ticket, you need to buy a separate ticket for the other system, and vice versa. So this part of 30th Avenue is very, very quiet. It only gets to be much more busy after 21st Street. There's a lot of construction here. Across the street from me is a public school. These people here are waiting for a bus. Both the Q18 and Q102 buses run along 30th Avenue, although the Q102 makes a right turn on 31st Street. The Q18 runs for most of its length in Astoria. Now this playground across the street from me is called the ⁴ ⁷ Playground. It recently underwent a major renovation and was closed for a good number of months. But now the park surfaces are resurfaced. There's new attractions for the children and new basketball courts. And it looks very nice.
We used to get people who would come up to us on the street.
And that public school I just passed by is PS 171, also called the Peter G. Van Alst School. Many of the streets, they weren't actually the same name back in the day. Astoria used to be a separate community. It used to be a village until it was incorporated into the city of Long Island City. And Astoria was named after the wealthy millionaire John Jacob Astor. And if you were to convert his fortune into today's money, he'd be one of the richest people in the world right now. So this is 21st Street. It's a major north and south route through Astoria. 21st Street leads directly onto the Ed Koch Queensboro Bridge, also known as the Queensboro Bridge or the 59th Street Bridge to Midtown Manhattan, and also feeds directly into the Pulaski Bridge into Greenpoint, Brooklyn. So now we're entering the busier part of 30th Avenue. It's still residential right now, but it'll get a lot more busy once I get up the avenue. So this building with the scaffolding has been in the news recently, not because of the building itself, but because of the owners who manage it. They've been in odds with the city over the rent stabilized apartments. The company has lied to the city about the rent stabilized apartments, and they wanted to hide tenants that were living there. This building has been abandoned for many years. I don't really know what's going on with it. Here's a medical office. Now this is what I like to call the medical alley of Astoria. There's many medical offices around here, mainly because of the hospital on the next block, the Mount Sinai Hospital of Queens. It used to be called the Astoria General Hospital, but this is a radiology center and some other medical offices in Astoria. Here's a popular corner store called the Crescent Kitchen, aptly named because it's on Crescent Street. Crescent Street is also a main through street for vehicles traveling to Manhattan. It feeds directly to the Ed Koch Queensboro Bridge. Now this hospital, the Mount Sinai Hospital of Queens, also went through a multi-million-dollar renovation to the exterior and also has a new emergency department. Now that the weather is warmer, you've got Mr. Softy across the street. Well, it's not Mr. Softy, it's unnamed, but it's an ice cream truck playing the Mr. Softy tune. I wonder if they got the licensing to do that. Here there's a Dunkin' Donuts, a chemist supply with a pharmacy inside also. I guess you're gonna need pharmacies when you're near a hospital. A laundromat. Many of the buildings here actually don't have their own. A car with a loud muffler there. A lot of the buildings here actually don't have their own washer and dryer, so they need commercial laundromats for people to do their laundry in. I'm about 3 blocks from the first train station in Astoria, Queens. Here's another laundromat. Across the street from me is the Henry David Thoreau School. It's also public school number 17. Now 30th Avenue, it used to be called Grand Avenue back in the day before the streets were renamed. Most of the streets have numbered avenues and streets and roads and drives now. Mainly with one exception, and that one was Crescent Street as I passed by earlier. And they kept Crescent Street mainly because of the name, because of the actual crescent that it makes between Broadway and 31st Avenue. So across the street from me is Athens Square Park. That statue in the middle is actually a statue of Athena, gifted by the country of Greece. Here's a Sterling National Bank. It used to be the Astoria Savings Bank, Astoria Federal Savings Bank. As I make my way up the avenue, you may see a lot of reference to Greek restaurants and Greek food. And this area had initially a lot of Greek immigrants and people from Greek origin come here. The neighborhood has changed a lot throughout the years, but it still retains a lot of Greek identity. Here's a supermarket called the Trade Fair. It's open 24 hours. Here is the 30th Avenue subway station. It underwent a renovation of around, I'd say 9 months last year, and it reopened. It's served by the N and W trains and runs along 31st Street. Currently, there are no N trains running because of some planned construction. Instead, people have to board shuttle buses like that one that will take them throughout the whole route. That's just how it goes in New York because of aging infrastructure and things that constantly need to be improved. There's a lot of detours that need to happen. Now I would say this is one of the busiest areas of Astoria. Right when I get past the train station, you're gonna see a lot of restaurants here. Here's a halal food cart. This is the Chase Bank. I recently read a post on the Astoria subreddit that there was actual human feces on the floor. Looks like some people covered it up with newspaper. I do not want to go in there, and I don't want to find out for myself if it's true or not. Here's a Indian restaurant, Namaste Indian. Fresco Yoga, which has been closed for many years now. On the corner there is Burger Club. This store on the corner had many names throughout the years. Recently it was Salt and Bone, and it closed up. The owner notoriously had Yelp reviews and comments that made him seem like he was doing a little bit more than Yelp reviews there. But it was known as the Athens Corner for many years. It was a Greek coffee house. Here's another supermarket in Astoria. Across the street from me are two fruit markets, fruit and vegetable markets that are open 24 hours. The most well-known of them is the United Brothers Fruit Market. This building on the corner is going to be a commercial building. It was known as a bargain stop, 99 cents or dollar store for many years. Here's a Rite Aid pharmacy. I don't know if it's going to be called Rite Aid for much longer because the Rite Aids were bought by Walgreens. So maybe known as Walgreens later, who knows. But this pharmacy is also open 24 hours. There is the New York City Bagel Coffee House. There's actually a whole bunch of them in Astoria. I believe there's one in the Ditmars area. Here's a famous tea shop called the Tipsy, New York. Here's a very famous restaurant, the Ovelia. And on that corner is the Ample Hills ice cream shop. Recently moved in next year, and there's lines for the ice cream out the door sometimes. In addition to restaurants, you also have many good service-related businesses in Astoria. There's a Casablanca hair salon, a winery, Judy Punch convenience store. Here's a Domini's bar. Matsu is a Japanese restaurant, another wine and spirits company. Here's a Veda salon, the Shady Lady, which actually has been in the news for doing some shady things regarding the taxes, but since it's a nice day out, everyone's enjoying and eating outside. There's a vegan cuisine restaurant across the street from me, the Jeju Tree. This First Central Savings Bank was home to, for many years, to a Long Island savings bank until they were bought out by the Astoria Federal Savings Bank. Ocean Fish Market has been a business that's been around for many years. There's the Golden House Chinese restaurant and the Lee Lives Bakery, which is a very tasty bakery and I highly recommend it. This building was recently sold out. I remember there used to be a music shop here and there used to be another establishment with a pool hall downstairs and a bar, but that's no longer there anymore. Here's Crave, lunch, dinner, and late night restaurant. Also a very good restaurant. And Morelli Realty. Gyro World. Pink Nori, which is a Japanese fusion restaurant. Antica. Here's a health food restaurant, Create. Curry Culture, which is a Indian restaurant. It's also very good. Royal Underground. Across the street from me is the Brooklyn Bagel and Coffee Company. Also a Tea Swirl Crepe, which is a Japanese style crepe. And the famous Queen's Comfort restaurant, which used to be further up past Steinway Street, but now they move locations. Here's Via Trenta, a very famous outdoor restaurant. The Grand also. That's the way it is in Astoria. When the weather's nice, people hook up their cars to be as loud as possible and they just drive on the street and act cool. Beer garden. Here's a poke burrito. The Butcher Bar. Here's Sugar Freak. It's a Louisiana cooking restaurant. This place across the street from me will be a biscotti bakery. Here's Peter Pan, which is a Greek restaurant. This is Blend. It also has a happy hour and bar there. Here is the New York Sports Clubs. It's a gym in Astoria. People go out here to work out and get in shape. There's a French cafe and pastry across the street from me. Here's Dwayne Reed, which is also owned by Walgreens. This corner was actually a movie theater for many years, but now it's home to New York Sports Clubs, Dwayne Reed, and Spectrum. This is Steinway Street. It's a very well-known street in Astoria. Now this place used to be the old location of Queen's Comfort, but now it's Comfort Land. Here's Gaudio's Pizzeria. And here's a Mexican cuisine restaurant coming soon. 30th Avenue is always changing, with new restaurants and old restaurants always coming and going. The rent for these restaurants and establishments aren't exactly cheap. Now that I passed Steinway Street, it's not as commercial as it was back there, but there's still some areas of charm. More of these businesses are service related rather than the food related industry as it was back there. But here's a bar and restaurant known by Blackbirds. Here's a tobacco store. I'm going to wait for the light here. There's a noodle kitchen across the street from me. Looks like something's going on with that church up there. Here's another Key Food supermarket. People don't have to go far here to get groceries. It's relatively within walking distance. So I do wonder what kind of thing happened in the church here for it to be ringing the bells for so long. This is the St. Joseph's Roman Catholic Church. Very neat architecture around this neighborhood. Here is the La Luna Cafe, a very good hot bagel and deli establishment. There's a threading salon, a nail salon, a wine bar. Here's a Asian kitchen. Across the street from me is the Sorriso's Italian meats. I don't know how to say that last word, so I won't even try, but it's a very, very good place if you want some meats and other Italian specialties. Across the street is the Keys Irish Pub. And that tiny little store in the middle of the block is actually a post office. It's also labeled the Grand Station, presumably because 30th Avenue was known as Grand Avenue up until about the 1910s or 1920s. I couldn't figure out exactly when the name changed from Grand Avenue to 30th Avenue. But actually, before the subway station, the 30th Avenue subway station was renovated, it was also co-named as Grand Avenue. So it was 30th Avenue - Grand Avenue. I guess it is good that they relabeled the street, because there's also another Grand Avenue in Queens. Primarily that one runs through Maspeth and it ends in Elmhurst. There's another BMW with a loud muffler. You know, I don't even think I mentioned the temperature on today's video. It's 64 degrees Fahrenheit. Here is Dillinger's, also another Irish pub. Now I'm actually almost on the border of Astoria with the next neighborhood of Woodside. This side of Astoria is much quieter than the middle of 30th Avenue past the subway station. Generally, I find that most of the time to be true. The further you are from the subway station, the quieter the neighborhood is. There's a lot of nice single family and two family homes here. Many of the owners also do some gardening on their own. Oh wow, there's even a tenant there right now. Kind of scary looking. Looks like they've been there for many years. Here's the gardening I was mentioning about. Many of them have their own rose gardens and some backyards and front yards, which they keep in very good condition. Unfortunately, I see sometimes people, they'll be very naughty and they'll pick the flowers or the vegetables and fruits that people grow on their front yard. And that's such not a nice thing to do. Here's another trade fair supermarket. This one, they have themselves self-quoted as the best prices in town. The meat and produce is our specialty. Here is Papa John's Pizza.
Do you feel weird?
So I just passed 50th Street, and that was a big dip into a manhole cover that wasn't level with the sidewalk. Nothing happened to me though. Here's another street that wasn't renamed. It's Hobart Street. And as soon as I pass over onto Hobart Street, I'll be entering Woodside, the next neighborhood over. So now I'm in Woodside, Queens. I believe Woodside was called because of the woods in the area. It's good to see a lot of flowers are blooming already. Spring has already been here for about 2 or 3 weeks. Many of the cherry blossoms are already in first bloom. Probably in another week or two they'll be all fully bloomed now. And look at this. As soon as I mentioned cherry blossoms, here's a owner with a cherry blossom tree that has many flowers in first bloom. Okay, I am at the end of 57th Street now and 30th Avenue. I hope you enjoyed my walk of 30th Avenue in its entirety in Astoria. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. And actually there is a woodpecker here somewhere. I'm hearing it. Where is the woodpecker?
Further down.
Yeah?
No, I hear him here.
No, it's over here. Oh, I see it. It's right there.
I hear that guy every day.
Yeah,
Where is it?
right there. Just stand where I am. It's kind of brown.
Has he got the red head?
Yeah.